Hello, and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, Malazan Readthrough podcast. My name is India. I am a co-host in this series, and with me today is my friend and closest confidant, Peter.
Number one, baby, coming in hot on the mic. Eat my dust.
I'm so sorry for everyone that turned their headphones up for India.
Oh my god. This is why we volume match.
That was funny. Second, but not second in my heart, also about to eat a slice of pizza, the local Calor apologist, Joshua Dean Baker.
I'm just saying, look, if you've been around the block that long, you can't really be getting it all wrong, you know?
I agree. Yes.
Josh, did you just take a full bite out of a red onion?
How else would I eat it?
Okay.
And please, before we finish, before we have any other thoughts, my one true favorite person, AJ.
Hey, India, thank you so much for having me on the program. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm trying to give some big NPR vibes.
Yeah, it's very good.
And let me know if you're picking up on that.
That's okay with me, and I'm also okay bringing it down to an NPR ASMR level today.
I've got to be right back. There's a cucumber in this salad, and that cannot be allowed to continue. I'll be right back.
All right, Josh, and we wish you good luck on that, and we'll see you soon.
I do just want to say thank you so much to Super Nintendo Chalmers, who gave us that nickname for Josh. If you'd like to nickname Josh, you can back us at the $10 tier and fill out the form.
I'm a fan of cucumber salads, and Joshua should level up his taste, is my opinion. But I
don't think I could maintain that level of voice for the whole time. Wow.
You don't think you can?
Should we bring it up? It's ma.
I was really excited to bring in a new tone, because usually I would just copy Peter and be like, hello.
You were doing great.
But that was it felt right. It felt like, and then sometimes I'm really happy. So this time I thought, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down,
actually. People think we're going to be up, but let's go down and kind of subvert expectations, kind of defy what they think the show might be, you know?
Yeah, well, this is it's a rare nighttime recording, so we all have kind of I'm going to say lower energy, because I have to tell you, I am so tired right now.
I'm a few beers deep, so Pete's actually feeling good. I'm feeling ripped and ready to go. And India, I'm stoked you're back on the show. We missed you last week. How are you feeling? Welcome back after your little absence.
Well, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I'm actually going to keep the voice for a little longer.
Okay.
It's been pretty tough, but the one thing I can always fall back on is my pals.
The podcast.
The dust of dreams.
Josh, that pizza and salad situation, it's unfair that you're even here with that right now. I'm dying.
I'll keep it out of camera shot as much as I can.
But, when I'm back with a motherfucking bang.
Yeah.
Bam, bam.
And I don't know, what do you guys think? Do we just get into it?
I think we should maybe just get into it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think we've held back long enough,
I think so. I think the NPR voice was enough of a bit in its own that we don't need to think of a thing to talk about.
I'm feeling a little hungry. I'm ready to eat some diamonds and gems. That's, Josh's pizza looks good, but fill me up with those yummy, yummy crystals.
There you go.
Well.
And scene.
Chapter 7. The errant walks through the flooded tunnels, talking to himself about life not going the way he planned. He wonders why Featherwitch's soul isn't around, since that's where he mercy killed her. He ends up at a Nazath house in the bottom of the ocean and is greeted by Knuckles, a Forkril elder god, who calls him Erastus. The errant tells him his plan to summon the clan of elders. He says that he is the master of the tiles, and so they must obey. Kilimanjaros and Osiric are in a realm that's part of Emerlane. They have a weird, heated conversation about Edgewater. It turns out there's only one portal to the realm, and Edgewater is waiting there to kill him. Stormy wakes from a nightmare screaming from a dream. He and Gessler discuss the possible meaning while keeping guard over a passed-out Hellion. Bottle wakes up because he hears Ferret and Sort talking. There's a silly banter between them. And then Bottle realizes it was actually Cook Ben talking to him, and they discuss the Warrens, Tiles, and Male's motivations. Quick Ben says he is going to get the adjunct to elevate Bottle to High Mage, and Bottle convinces him to keep him with Fiddler Squad like a little spy. Sandalath tells Withel she wants to leave the Bone Hunters to go in search of the Sheikh and find out what they know and how they're connected to the Tistiandi. Sandalath tells Withel that the adjunct is fine with them leaving, and then he tells him that the Noct can't come with them. He explains that he thinks they came from Male and it isn't exactly an option to send them back. Telerast and Colonel check that Banishar is wasted before discussing the fact that they think they have lost their pet to the Errant. They discuss their plans to kill the Errant when Banishar confirms that he is still Drek and he is manipulating the Errant as well. The Malazans think that the Lethari suck at fighting as they play the war game. After they spar, both Keneb and Bryce consider each other with a new respect. They both did pretty well, but the Lethari did eat it. Farad and Sort and Kindly discuss the usefulness of Sin and Grub. Sin and Grub explore one of the new Warrens. Grub doesn't like it at all and is getting more and more scared of Sin. The Errant approaches Kilimandaros and tells her that he has come to speak of dragons. So, my voice cracked a little bit. We start with the Errant walking through, which, now, the thing is, you might want to correct me, because I'm not sure. Are we where Featherwitch literally, was being held and died?
Yes.
That is where we are.
Yeah, that's where we are.
All right. So that's where we are. And the Errant's just, so pissed off that things are not going exactly how he planned, and he's throwing a little hissy fit. And then mentions, his almost, I want to say, mercy killing of Featherwitch. Is that what that was to you guys?
Yeah, he absolutely was like, I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, really interesting section there.
I don't recall it being merciful.
It wasn't.
I think it was just murder.
No, it was just murder.
Okay,
it
good.
was
Okay,
just
good.
murder.
Yeah.
It literally was.
Yeah, but here he's like, oh, but she was, it had to happen. It was for her own good. It's like
She was practically dead by the time I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, listen, I know here the Errant seems very annoying, and throughout this whole chapter, he seems quite aggravating, and he's generally a very annoying character, I feel. However, let me posit this. Is he hot? This is something I was thinking about during this chapter, and I think the answer might be yes. I'm sorry to say. That's
My problem is, I think he's a twink, but too tall.
Wow. Slender Man.
I think he could have a Slender Man energy,
I would push back against the Errant being hot if his job literally wasn't to fuck the ruler.
Yeah.
I think he's got to have some looks to for that to be his job.
Yeah.
But maybe his Turad Brazad persona is different than his Errant persona,
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, we've never talked about. I'm not. You know what? I'm going to stop talking. I've got pizza in my mouth.
Full mouth of pizza.
He's got pizza mouth. AJ, how are you feeling about the Errant and his role? We really do see a lot of him in this chapter.
Yeah,
a lot of Elder God scheming.
A lot of Elder God scheming, that's for sure. I have to say, I don't know. I feel like the Errant specifically didn't do a whole lot in this section. The Errant is there, and that's the POV, obviously. But I was more captured by the like, oh, we're back with this forkless sail. Or sorry, actually, I need this to be clarified. Is this the forkless sail that Breeze was hanging out with at the bottom of the ocean? Is this the same forkless sail?
It's got to be. 100% got to be.
That's what I was thinking, but I really wasn't 100%. And Knuckles sounded familiar.
In the house that like he wanders into through the garden, and they're like, "You got to go. Don't forget about us, and remember your own name."
Yes, and then he leaves.
It's got to be them.
Yeah. Or no, sorry, that's not Breeze. That's what's his
it's
name?
the dude that gets killed, the Tisty Eater, who was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we all forgot about.
Hanig Mosik.
No, that's the Warlock King, dude.
Yeah, he was sent
You're
here.
right. No, sorry. I'm thinking about he caused it. It's Bruth and Trana.
Bruth and Trana. Yes. So that was, I think this is the same place.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I was like really into this idea of like, oh, they're back, and apparently they were pals with the Errant. And it really just feels like, I mean, India said he was throwing a tantrum. Pete, you said that it's easy to read the Errant as kind of annoying here. And I have to agree, that was my read, because he's just like, come on, let's go be powerful and kill people. And Knuckles is like, no, what are you talking about? And the Errant was like, it was great when we did that. And Knuckles is like, it wasn't actually.
Remember the good old days?
So yeah, that's really what I was most interested in. Was that whole bit, and this kind of like, I don't know, push and pull, I guess, between the Errant and Knuckles being like, I love to have power and kill, and Knuckles being like, nah, it's fine, really. We don't really need it.
But I do feel like it's an interesting human motivation for the Errant to feel like, I just want to go back to the good old days, you know, and to contrast this with Knuckles, who is presenting like, oh, was it actually that good? You know, it's kind of a very real conversation about a very abstract thing in a way.
It's kind of mirrors, like Knuckles kind of mirrors Male in a way, I think. And I think that's purposeful because they're both elder beings, elder gods, whatever. And so it's interesting to see like the one elder god that we see who wants to like go back to the quote good old days or whatever is the Errant, and all the other elder gods seem to just be like, nah, I'm cool. Like I'm just chilling. Like I don't need all that. I just think that's interesting.
Yeah.
But like you said, it is very human, which I think is what's, you know, the Errant makes a point to, you know, hold power by just like being around powerful people. So
I do like his line at the end of this section too, that mortals will eat anything. That's a good line.
What are your like? I tried to understand the master of the tiles.
Sure.
And I don't know what a tile is.
The tiles are what the deck of dragons is to the Warrens is what the tiles are to the holds. So they kind of represent the kind of...
Is the hold a gate?
The holds were the older magic system that the kind of Lotharii and the people of this continent were using before the Warrens were awoken here.
Yeah. So if the tiles are like an iPhone 2 running off of like 3G, the Warrens are the newest one running on 5G.
And made out of Krull's blood.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we're getting poisoned by it, you know.
Krull's blood is the 3G.
Well, see,
yeah, Krull's blood is the 5G poisoning our brains.
That's why I didn't get the vaccine, because I didn't want the 5G in me, you know?
And can we talk about Steve writing birds into this book, like being part of this whole bird thing that the government does? I just don't get it.
I'm just saying, wake up, sheeple.
Okay.
You're hysterical.
Did that clear it up at all, Int? Or
it did.
Okay.
It definitely did.
Okay.
It's really fun to, you know, host, because now I can just use it as an information session.
Literally.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you're going to be permanent host? Is that what I heard?
Nope, never that. Okay. So the Warrens then are now, well, I thought that they were like not doing too well.
They're not.
Isn't that the whole thing? Aren't they like dying?
Yeah,
all
that
of them?
is the whole storyline.
So then you just said that they're new to the Lotharii people, but are they? How are they?
Yeah, so if there was like a whole city of people who never upgraded from the iPhone 2, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people came over on a boat and were like, look at the iPhone 14, that's basically what's happening.
Oh, but it's still like everything's still fucked up.
It's all still fucked up. Yeah,
well, they're trying to run the 5G through the 3G towers, and it's like really not compatible.
Right. Yeah.
But it's gonna work itself out.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. All right. Well, that makes perfect sense. That makes a lot of sense. I was reading it and I was like just reading it to read it and having no fucking idea what was going on.
I get you.
Yeah. Cool. Then the next like part where we go to Kilimanjaro, is that a mountain?
Kilimanjaro.
No, you're thinking of Kilimanjaro, yeah, in Kenya.
Well, it's an uncanny relation there.
I actually do have a question about this for Pete, because we've heard
What's up?
of Kilimanjaros a lot.
I think we've met Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Did we meet Kilimanjaros when we met Knuckles last time?
Kilimanjaros is the one with like the fucked up like gorilla arms or whatever.
We
We had a whole conversation about that. You remember that?
I'm
No.
Googling it right now. My gut tells me you meet Kilimanjaros in the
prologue.
Midnight Tides prologue.
I think it's the Reaper's Gale prologue. The prologue where
It's Midnight Tides. Boom,
is
I was
Midnight Tides?
correct. Yeah.
maybe I'm thinking of a different. No, the one where they get the heart or whatever from Scavendari Blood Eye's body and
The
put it in the
dagger,
Finnest.
yeah, then make the Finnest. You're actually,
Yeah.
I think you're right. Maybe it is Reaper's Gale.
It
I'm
is
looking.
Reaper's
No,
Gale,
I'm looking at it. It's
bastard.
Midnight Tides. He's
Actually,
Kilimanjaros.
it is the Midnight Tides prologue and the Reaper's Gale prologue.
Okay.
Oh,
It's both. All right. Cool.
Shout out.
Shout out.
I do remember now. Okay.
Her thing is she's like a cutie, you know? That's her thing.
I think her thing is
you
that she's like
serious?
horrifying. I
Yeah,
think
it
that's
seems
actually
like
the
it.
thing.
It does seem like it.
Oh, wow. It seems like someone loves to judge.
Don't yuck my yum.
Wow.
I forgot what India was into, so I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness. Google,
We did this last time too, and it was the
Yeah, we
same
did.
reaction.
literally. Who's Osiric?
Osirk is Osiric, who is what's his fucking name?
Oh, that's do you remember the mage, one of Felison's high mages who had the toad buddy? This is his dad.
It's his dad?
Yeah.
That's who I
Yes.
thought it was. That's who I thought it was. What in the
been a
what in the
while.
hell?
It's been a long time.
Also,
He's-
because that guy was such like an asshole.
Oh, he's a dick.
And he's such a baby here. Like, oh my god,
Yeah, he's a
I'm
big
gonna
baby.
get killed.
He's He's like the hot. He is the god of the Tisti Leosian.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the light elves. That's what they are. We can stop pretending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anybody want to discuss or let me know what the relevance of this was?
I think Osric is hot, undeniably.
I think this was just to
but
like
in
reintroduce.
a cocky way.
Y'all, we can't do this. We're on the second
Agreed.
part of this.
All right, I
chapter.
guess AJ's too
There's only
good.
2 chapters, AJ. We've got so much freedom this time.
I think the purpose of this section, India, is to just remind us that Kilimanjaros and Osirk exist, and then
And that
probably it will have plot significance, but like at this point,
Yes.
it's just like remember these people?
It's also reminding us about Edgewalker.
Yes.
The most terrifying thing we've met in this fucking
Shout out
series.
to Edgewalker. Love Edgewalker. So, Josh, let's then there's a whole awesome bottle section, and there's this kind of interplay between him and Quick Ben, and he's kind of trying to go and figure out what's going on. And then they also have this whole kind of dialogue about they have this kind of philosophical thing. I'm kind of forgetting what it's about at this moment, to be honest. But it was good. I liked it. Well, what did you make of this section?
I always would like more
It was
bottle.
about the sea, maybe.
No. Well, male was. It was about.
They definitely talked about male.
What's it
so,
about?
but I can't remember the specifics.
Do you think Bottle should be a high mage?
Oh, that's a really good question, actually, because I really did think that was the more interesting thing to me, because, I love the tactics and shit. Obviously, Bottle's trying to save his own skin, because as a high mage, he has to do more, and is going to be asked of him. I don't think he's actually powerful enough to be a high mage, but I think he is smart enough to be one, if that makes sense. Like, he's so good at using his powers that he's as smart as Quick Ben. He just doesn't have the juice, as they say.
Or like 6 people inside him.
Yes.
You need more people in you to become more powerful.
Yeah.
This,
That's what I always
I did
say.
find it. It is a section all about the aerosol and how they were kind of like us and have been
yes,
everywhere
yes.
we've ever been. I just want to shout out that section. I really liked it. And
Oh, it's really good. I think Malazan, more than any other fantasy series I've ever read, like, is so good at reminding you that, like, this world is not young.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an interesting element and obviously because he's an archaeologist, that's his whole shit. But I just think it's such a cool element that, like, people know, but I think we gloss over it too often.
Yeah, I do just want to, Pete, you brought up that line, but I do just want to read the quote. The point is, we see ourselves as the great trekkers, the bold travelers and explorers, but the Eris all, High Mage, they did it first. There isn't a place we step anywhere in this world that they haven't stepped first. Humbling thought, isn't it? I love that line.
I like that. That's what resonated with me as well.
But definitely good. Would love some more. I really feel like my biggest critique of Malazan is that there's so many good characters that I just feel robbed of time with them. You know what I mean? Like,
I do
remember 2 books ago, Bottle was fucking everywhere, and I feel like I want that still all the time.
Yeah, but he's still around,
Yeah,
Bottle was fucking everywhere.
India, you weren't around last week. I would love to know. We get a little bit more of the Shake storyline. How are you feeling about the Shake and learning about their roots with the Tistiani that they talk about here, but we also see them, I think, in the next chapter as well.
Who are the Shake?
They're with.
I need names.
They're with Yan Tovis.
Twilight, Yan Tovis.
Oh, the siblings, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're in the next chapter. We talk about them more then, but here, Sandalith and Withel kind of talk about, their legacy and their relationship to the Tistiandi and kind of who they are, maybe somewhat as a people in a sense.
Yes. Not gonna lie. Very much barely remember Sandalith and Withel. They came from the crippled...
Yes, the
place,
crippled
right?
god island. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what they were even... I don't even remember why they were here. Also, I think I did just kind of glaze over that.
Sure.
The history is so hard.
India, I cannot blame you. I often feel as though I do not understand why Sandalith and Withel are here.
They're just
Like,
unimportant.
Withel had his moment where he destroyed Rulad's blade 2 books ago. That was
Right.
important.
Right.
And I keep constantly wondering, like, why do we still read about you? So, I mean, it's got, but again, Sandalith has been named Queen of Darkness, which makes sense because she could be the longest living fucking Tistiandi, considering she's from when they got slaughtered, millennia ago.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. She could be like the oldest one currently living.
Technically.
Technically, yes.
Well, India, I will be curious to hear about your opinion on the Shake in the next chapter, but I will then ask you about Tellerist and Curdle. Josh, what's up?
Can I ask a quick question before we leave Sandalith and Withel?
Yeah, what's up?
How do you feel you would be as a lover and partner to someone that's like infinitely older than you? Like, how do you think you'd be able to like emotionally support them when they become incredibly morose? I thought about that a lot during this part of this book, and that was like the only thing I could think about.
Well, that's good for you that you want to be supportive of them. I think that speaks to your character.
Yeah, I don't think I could though. I think that's the answer.
Oh, you think you were worried about it?
I don't think I'd be able to. They'd be like, time is meaningless and death is but the natural conclusion, and I'd be like, I guess. It's like all I'd have for them.
Preach, honey. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard though when they live for forever. It's like, well, you'll get through this, but them getting through this might be 200 years of sadness. You know what I mean? It's
yes.
Well, the thing is, I've read Tuck Everlasting, and the moral of that story is that they are going to be sad about me dying. So I ultimately don't think I would be that concerned about that, So, India, Tellerist and Curdle.
I love them.
Yeah, so they're kind of having a conversation whether they should kill Banishar or what should they do about him. What did you make of this conversation? What did you make about their current status and their relationship to Banishar, a character who has kind of reemerged into the story in early Dust of Dreams?
What do I think of their relationship? I think that their relationship is silly and funny, and really that's it. Nothing else to it. And
Fully
what was
agree.
the other question?
Well,
Banishar.
What do you think of Banishar? I mean, he was kind of a side character in a while ago, and now he's like kind of a part of the plot in a more serious way.
I wouldn't say that, but
Well, I lied. He's not a part of the plot at all.
no, I do think he's part. I just don't think he's like very much part of the plot. But
Sure.
I don't know. Nothing. I don't. What do you think? What can you tell me? What you think about that part?
Of course, I like Tellerist and Curdle. I think Banishar is kind of interesting as a character who is a little unmoored in a sense, and kind of feels a little lost in his relationship to Drek and now he has these two other masters, and I do somewhat sympathize him of feeling a little not sure what his place in all this is, you know? So, you know, that's how I would feel. AJ?
I would say that the Banishar storyline here is like you're in the car on the way home and you're like, I want Duiker for dinner. And your mom says, we have Duiker at home. And it's Banishar. Like, I feel like Duiker's storyline of like a conflict of like faith or whatever, you know, a conflict of like, does he trust history and all that stuff? I think this is like kind of the same storyline, but Duiker's is just more interesting.
Oh, well, 100%. But I do think Banishar, to go to what India says, has taken up a little less time in this book than
100%.
Duiker had. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just kind of feels like we've kind of done this before, and maybe that's why we're kind of glossing over the beginning of this Banishar stuff. But I don't know. I'm just not. I'm with India. Like the Telerest and Curl stuff is like funny, and Banishar is like there. That's all I got with those scenes.
Sure. So Josh, we have a whole military drills section, a whole military war games. How did this strike my military boy, Joshua Dean Baker?
It was a little too obvious on all the news for me this time.
A little too much for you.
No. I'm saying like the outcome was a little bit like,
I see.
Yeah, no, that's what was gonna happen. Like, you know, Breeze learned from us, but you know he hasn't learned the whole lesson. We're still gonna surprise him. There is always the chance that Steve's gonna pull the you thought that was a one-off scene. Well, this exact thing is gonna play out in real time later on. Smiles is going to make the same mistake again, and it's going to cost the lives of, 3,000 Malazans or some shit. That could happen. I could see that happening with Steve, but otherwise it was just fine. And those are my thoughts.
India, how did you feel about the war game stuff? I know sometimes that leaves you dry.
Well, yeah. I don't think this was like super boring. I kind of always like it just seemed very similar, I guess, to usual, like
Sure.
Fight happens, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we're dying," and then Keneb or right, whoever always does like a really big bomb, does a really big thing, and then everybody dies on the other side. That's really Or so maybe I read it wrong. I don't know, but I thought that like a big explosion thing
does
happened.
Like a counter thing, yeah.
But is it like a big bomb?
I think you're thinking of Cuddle.
They talk about a bomb. But this was all like, if this is like a fake battle.
Yeah, it's
this
all
was
hypothetical.
Like a skirmish. But
then how did they die?
They didn't.
No one died.
It was like a aha, you're dead, and they stab you with like a fake sword or whatever. It's
Yeah.
They're LARPing.
Yes.
They are LARPing.
I thought it was a real game.
Nah. It's like a war games thing.
They're training up the Lethery troops to fight like Malazans.
I did think it was a little barbaric to like be like, all right,
train
like,
them and
let's
then
do it. Yeah, like
we're gonna train you to fight us, and then you're gonna lose. Yeah, no, that's brutal, dude.
That's why the Malazans are the best army in the world. The ones you're fighting survived the training ground.
AJ, we do check in with some of the other soldiers there. We see Ferret and Sort. We see Kisper and Sinner. I did want to definitely touch on Sin and Grub before then, but did any of this other soldier stuff strike you a certain way?
I mean, the Faraday Sort stuff, they bring up Beak, and I was like, oh, right. Faraday Sort had that relationship with Beak. I forgot that was like our
the pair.
Point of contact there. You know, that was fine. But the Kitswear and Sinter scene of them talking to Pores and being like, we know that you're not kindly. And he's like, well, who told you that? Maybe he was lying. And they were like, well, we know that they weren't lying because it was a woman or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fully remember the details of the scene, but it was just silly that they were calling him out. And it was kind of annoying when Pores was like, no, I still have the upper hand here. So that's the thing.
Why is that happening? Like Pores pretending to be kindly?
India, I couldn't tell you. I think it's just him trying to take advantage of these women. I think
it is not. I think it's jokes, but also like it's so rare that Steve jokes are just jokes. It feels like that it's a little out of place in my opinion.
What do you mean out of place, Josh?
I think it's too harsh of a tonal shift. I don't think they're very funny because I don't feel like I'm set up to be in a mood to read as funny.
Yeah, it is like hard. It does feel like it's like hard jokes to me as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I get the joke. Why are we still doing this? But I think that's kind of also just establishing who Pores is as a person who like just someone who won't give up on
Well,
it. You know?
I'll say this. Every other book I've loved kindly in pores. And I think earlier in this book, some of the stuff they do is funny. This one I was just kind of like, not for me, but it's okay.
India, what do you think Sin and Grub are up to? And what do you think their relationship to this kind of new world of magic that's breeding in Lothari is?
I don't know what Grub is doing. I think that Sin is just a very curious. I think Grub's just along for the ride. Like just following around and hanging out. But I think that Sin is maybe, I don't really know. Sin's an odd one. So I wonder if Sin's just if she's like trying to make sense of where she, like herself and where she fits in and why she's like kind of chaotic.
I have to tell you, I don't know why. I don't feel like Sin is a terribly deep character, but I do feel like the silhouette cast by her is very compelling, and I love everything about her, you know?
I feel like the way that everybody else talks about her makes her more interesting. Like everyone's like, yeah, no, we can't have Sin involved in this. Like she's gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
And then Sin's just there, like.
But like, I could actually only tell you like 6 things about Sin. Yeah.
Can I tell you, I felt so vindicated in the Discord this week because while we're recording, this is the week that we released the first episode, in which we were very confused by Sin and Grub's age. Made me feel very vindicated to see that the Discord also could not agree in the slightest. And in fact, there are some Malazan theories that there's like apparently 3 sentences is one of the books that just implies Grub like ages preternaturally fast. And I'm like,
one of the epigraphs.
I don't know.
One of the epigraphs.
The Malazan Empire forums, which I used to haunt, remained also confused on that point. So
can we like take that down and ask Steve?
I think Steve's answer will probably be like, I write a lot of words and, stuff gets mixed up. Because we asked him about some other time paradoxy thing. And it was just like it kind of got lost in all the writing.
To be honest, though, I don't really care. It's like I don't actually feel like it matters.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
They are youngish.
Well, I would just want to know if I can ship them or not.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a toughie.
You know what? We should ask. That is.
We can ask that. We can ask that.
Have you guys not at all thought that yet?
Can I tell you something really funny? So I'm running a D&D session. It's kind of a nautical thing. So I Google ship name generators, and it was for ships, like relationships, and not.
Oh, that's really funny.
Which was unexpected.
That's so funny.
So you named your ship like Brangelina or something. Yeah.
Oh my God, you said Brangelina. I said Benifer.
Nice.
You're so millennial.
The SS Benifer.
The SS Benifer. All right. Shall we thank our beautiful Patreon sponsors?
Yeah, baby. Let's thank them.
This week, we'd love to thank our Patreon sponsors. First up, we've got Dumb It Down, Sergio, Toivo, Dennis, Apu, Eric, Chris, and Frifthor.
Thank you all so much for donating generously to our wonderful Patreon. If you would like to donate to our Patreon, the link is in the show notes. As of today's episode release, the $3 tier is now the lowest tier that you can support us at. Thank you to everybody who has supported us since we've kind of reconfigured our Patreon. It's been really thrilling. It was really fun to put that poll up to see what we were talking about in October and to get those $5 patrons to vote on it. So if you'd like that, then you can donate to our Patreon. Also, we have an $800 goal. When we hit $800, we will start doing monthly Q&As, which I'm very excited about.
Also, go Phils.
Go Phils.
Go Birds. I'll say it. I'm not a coward.
At this point, actually, Pete, the Phils could be out of it by the time this episode comes.
The Phils could be out of it. But
Isn't that game's got to be over, guys?
Today,
the game is over. They lost, unfortunately.
Oh, brutal.
Anyway, that's the Patreon. Thank you all so very much.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Let's move on.
Chapter 8. The Kachain Shamal sense something hunting them. The matron is relying on Caliph to provide answers from humans as to how to face those who hunt them. The Kachain Shamal noticed the bones of a massive beast, and Caliph wonders if it was a dragon, and if the Kachain Shamal worship them. Zag-Chiraq talks to Caliph about the nature of one god and how just having one god would make the universe have no meaning. They talk about magic and Otaterel as opposing forces. Zag-Chiraq and Caliph talk of the Otaterel dragon, faith, and worshipping gods. The Kachin Shamal are pleased and follow her, and have accepted her as their destriant. Setak argues with Telematus and Sakara about the war with the Tistiandi that brought the Barghast there. Kafal says he will open a warren using Telematus' powers. Setak warns Kafal not to use his warren. He does, and they end up in a cave in a strangely devastated world, trapped because Telematus has burned. Kafal says he will sanctify a space and bring the power alive. He tells Setak to summon the wolf ghosts that reside there. She does, and is overwhelmed by their numbers and by the violence of their deaths. Ikariam and crew bicker as they head deeper into the Kachin Shamal fortress. We see a hint of the past from Asain, from Sheb, from Napit, from Breath, who is actually Featherwitch, from Ratos, from Taxilian. Jan Tovis watches as a riot rages between armed islanders' camps that she freed and the Sheikh along the road to Galan. As the Sheikh themselves are threatened, Yeren Darig uses his Lethari troop to force them back and tells his sister that they will hold the portal to the Road of Galan to present 2,000 criminals following on their heels. Jan Tovis opens the portal and lunges forward into the cold past, whatever that is. Yeren and his troops deliver an insane slaughter. Pithy and Brevity say that he should be the commander of the Sheikh army and tell him to leave the petitioning to them. They walk through the portal. The leaders of the Snake contemplate their next actions and decide they must face the glass desert. Thank you, AJ and Josh, for that beautiful reading of our Patreons, and go Birds and go Phils. Let's ease into chapter 8.
Nice. I could do a whole we could go with a This American Lifestyle. Two elder gods walk into a bar.
Oh my god. Dude, that was so good.
So good.
What trouble might they get into this week on 10 Very Big Books?
Do they take classes,
For to speak on the radio?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, Ira Glass is the founder of that voice,
Yeah.
You may ask, do we want to reclaim our past? Some may say no, some may say yes. The Errant today asked you that question.
Anyway.
Which brings us to our first scene. And I've got to say, guys, while we dive into chapter 8, nothing can really prepare one for reading from the point of view of a large alligator with sword arms.
The Kachin Shamal.
I can't take it seriously. I cannot take it seriously.
Yeah. Are you just you got the Meet the Robinsons T-Rex in your head the whole time? I have a big head and little arms, that whole thing?
Did you watch that movie? That was just after my cartoon days. I never watched it.
It's a good movie.
Oh, Josh is too old for cartoons all of a sudden. Fucking what a lie.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I had a moment where I was I can't watch cartoons anymore, so sue me.
Oh my God, we all have that. When I was 12 and a half, probably actually 13, I realized I couldn't play dolls anymore.
Oh my God, a tragedy.
Can I tell you a real quick teacher moment? The question I asked my kids, I ask a dumb question every day. Today's question was, what's your favorite childhood show? The sense of just wonder and just exuberance as kids are talking about God, fucking not Caillou, because Caillou's a piece of shit. What are the ones?
Caillou's a piece of shit.
We had The Wiggles, we had I don't remember, Gravity Falls. So many good weird shows. Someone said Dino Train. That one didn't hold up animation wise.
I remember that show.
It was really great. I loved it.
That
I had
show's
I had a
stupid.
point. I forgot what it was.
Talking about
I don't know
sword
either.
arms.
Yeah.
So India,
Anyway.
why,
Yeah, what did
why
you-
do you
yeah.
why do you feel like their sword arms creates a barrier for you to connect with these characters?
Yeah. So, well, I when we read from like the Kachain Shamal point of view and that per Caleth,
Mhm.
I'm so
Yeah.
sick of these damn names. I really am. When we read from that point of view, I'm just like, like large reptile with sword arms is having complex emotions and making and like talking to Caleth, and they talk in your head, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, it's all telepathic.
it kills me. It just seems so silly. That's it.
I do kind of like when the juice has the Ototaro and it's like, oh, that's kind of affecting it. You know, I kind of like that.
I
There's
was so confused too. A dragon made out of Ototaro?
there is a ton of lore in this section. It is
Yeah.
being piled on.
Real quick, you know what has never occurred to me until just now is that this whole goddamn continent has no idea what Ototero is. Because it's not native here.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's like only native to the fucking 7 cities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next question. So there's Ototaro mines.
Mhm.
Yes.
Are they fossils or are they actually rocks?
That is a 10 out of 10 question, India.
Oh, that's a really
Because
good
now I think they might be fossils, and I
What
think
if there's-
because they
what if
talk
they were
about how
just-
fucking huge this dragon is.
Exactly.
You're
That'd be
fucking
crazy if
blowing
every,
my mind, dude.
What if every Ototero mine is just a dead Ototero
it's just a
dragon?
dead dragon?
That'd be
Peter?
crazy.
That fucks.
Or what if those fossils were put there to make us think that there were
Okay.
dinosaurs? Okay.
I just want to say the beginning
And they were
of
put there by, that's right, Hood.
Obama.
Obama. That's right.
I want to say I think that might be the hardest Josh has laughed on the show.
We got him.
I just want to say, no, that was George Bush. I would just want to say the beginning of this section, like the very
Mission accomplished,
the
baby.
very beginning, when Caleth is like talking about like, well, how can I be a destriant to these things that I don't even know anything about them? And that kind of kicks us off into the whole lore discussion. But she's like, Destriant, what does it mean to be one? To these creatures, what faith am I supposed to shape? I have no history to draw from, no knowledge of Kachain Shamal legends or myths. And then talks about how Gunthan Asil said would pillage the beliefs of my kind. We talked about it a bit when we were talking about the Kachain Shamal before, but it's like, you know, adopting these first sword and destriant things. They're trying to like force themselves to be relevant in the current, like, I don't know, hierarchy, I guess. But it's just like nobody knows shit about shit. So there's like no way for these things to like grab a hold on anything. I don't know. I just think that stuff is really cool. And it's like Josh said in the last chapter, it's just like these worlds are so old. Like so much stuff has happened and come and gone and been forgotten. And it's just like so cool. It's just really, really cool.
It's kind of cringe, am I right? Like old people trying to be relevant, you know?
You know,
Kachain Shamal are kind of cringe.
they're
Yeah.
kind of cringe.
Holy shit.
This is a funny episode. That's so true though. But okay, funny, but not funny. Haha.
Funny.
Not
weird.
funny like I laugh. Like funny
No,
like
Pete,
I
it's a
text
TikTok
LOL.
sound. It's a TikTok sound, Pete. Just
Oh,
Yeah,
my
you did not
God.
get that,
Sorry,
bub.
I'm a Kachain Jamal over here.
You are a Kachain
Cringe.
Jamal.
Embarrassing.
Wait, why is Gun
Gunthan Acula?
Gunthan Akil or Gunthmock? They're two different people.
Gunthmock?
Okay.
That's the
Is that the one that
girl.
flies?
No, Gunthan Akil is the one that flies. Gunthmock
No,
is
Gunthan Acula's the matron.
Oh, fuck me. All right. Gunthmock is the girl. Yes, India. The one who's like hiding
Why
her
is
power or
she?
whatever.
Why is she bent over now? Why is she turning into a seat?
Because so it like legitimately India, it's like bees. Like they run off the same like there's like it's real similar to how bees work where like they have like really hyper specific chemicals and hormones in them, and when they sense an imbalance in the queen or if something happens to the queen, like they just and they start becoming one. And it really feels very, very similar to how that works.
What's happening to Gunthmock then?
Because she's becoming powerful enough to become the next matron.
Wow, I feel like Josh's bee knowledge has really cracked this storyline open.
Yeah,
but then
I was
why
really
is-
close to becoming a major in insects.
Well,
and then-
you did say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But why is Caliph riding her?
Well, that just needed to happen because Calith's fucking weak ass.
Caliph is so tiny that one of
Yeah.
their steps is like 10 of hers.
Yeah, these things are fucking huge.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Can I say though, again, I know we say Steve's a weeb, but like, I mean, you're telling me the lizard of sword arms that can turn into a fucking horse? You're telling me you didn't watch some cool ass mecha anime in the 90s, Steve, and you were like, jot that one down.
Speaking of something that's kind of anime, Setok, being raised by wolves, that's kind of anime. Josh, what did you think about this whole Barghast thing? Setok's trying to go see, or Torrent's trying to go see Tool to apologize and all that shit.
Okay, when I started the chapter, I was like, all right, get out of there, whatever. When they fully vanished and the little puppet man burnt up to a crisp and they landed on another plane, yeah, when that happened, oh, your boy was in. Oh, I was loving life. Where did they go? I don't know. Why are there so many goddamn dead wolves? Again, I mean, I get what they're saying. They're like, who would kill these beautiful wolves? And I'm like, well, humans, because we're dumb as shit, and it's what we do. I don't know. Once they got into the other zone and they were all just kind of like confronted with the fact that they do not know or like each other, really big. And then they're all shitting on Torrent for loving his horse. I'm sorry, my man's got a heart and it's just been given to this horse. Like, that's beautiful.
Horse girl energy.
I did really like that,
Yeah.
that like them kind of dissecting it of like, oh, well, like this horse and Torrent
just saying-
are like all that's left.
I read Misty. All right, I've been to Shinkatig dozens of times. I've seen the pony penning. All right, there's a special connection between a man and a horse. And
I've ridden a horse. Thank you very much.
I've been on a horse many times, and that was a big East Coast pool. So if you're a Misty stan, let me know in the comments.
I don't even know who Misty is.
Yeah, India, it's because you're not from an incredibly small part of the United States of America.
India, have you ridden a horse?
Maybe at like camp, but that's it. Like in a circle,
In a circle.
but never like, let's go horseback riding. That's a rich white people activity, much like skiing.
I've never been skiing either.
Wow.
It's our natural camouflage, We feel safe. Feel safe out there on the slopes.
Age is funny.
Exactly.
Thanks, Josh.
I know what they say about them, but pretty funny.
AJ kind of underrated.
I don't care what anybody says. I think you're funny.
I make that joke in school every day. Kids never catch it.
I love
and it
that
brings me
joke.
such joy.
I love that joke.
I'm always nagging my students, and they don't seem to notice.
Yeah. It builds character.
Fuck.
So, India, we learn a little bit more. Our road trip crew has arrived at another rooted fortress.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this sequence? We learned some interesting information here.
Well,
Yes, Josh.
I just read, spoiler alert, India's going to record the voiceovers of the chapters tomorrow, so I didn't read her notes. We learned that Breath is Feather Witch? Did I miss this?
We vaguely learn it. The reread really confirms it, but they say like, yeah, her name used to be like something with a feather in it.
Sorry. Yeah, I do 100% remember that. I read this in a marathon. Like, I had like 50 minutes to read 2 chapters, so I skimmed.
Hell yeah, dude.
And Josh, you may recall that in the last chapter, the errant is like, whoa, I think the Feather Witch's soul will be here. That's weird. It's not here. And then he moves on to other stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't put two together.
those are just ghosts.
Well, we don't really understand because also the ghost is fucking a Carium. So who knows what they are at this point.
Oh.
Yeah, the ghost is
Okay.
revealed. I mean, assumedly it's a Carium, but it is also Mr. Steven Erickson. So like, a feint is kind of what he does. So yeah, at the end of that part of the chapter, he's like, and as the ghost was beginning to realizing, he had a thing for time. And it's like, well, so it's a Carium? It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then is he dead?
Yeah,
Accurate.
I just don't know.
So wait, did Icarium possess Taxilian? Is that what happened? Because the end of this section is Taxilian led them ever upward like a man possessed.
Oh, I didn't.
That's how
I don't think so, because at the end it like literally gives us the little wink and nudge that it's Icarium as a ghost.
Well, no, it gives you that wink and nudge, and then the next section, there's another section after that that ends with Taxilian moved them ever upward like a man possessed. Because it was like they keep passing rooms, but it seems like Taxilian doesn't care about them.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I hadn't caught that. Good catch, AJ.
Thank you. Maybe. I mean, thank me if it becomes something. I don't, All
right. I'll make a note. Thank AJ. If.
Yes, please. Now we're back with the shake, baby. Shake it off. Is that
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Thank you. New Taylor Swift comes out this Friday at the time of the recording. How exciting.
Shout out to Taylor.
Shout out to Taylor.
I feel like I'm a little swifted out. I'm going to be honest.
Well, good news, Josh. There's a new Carly Rae Jepsen, too.
Let's fucking go.
Why do you guys love Carly Rae Jepsen?
It was started off ironically, India, and then Peter gave an impassioned speech in college about how Call Me Maybe is the perfect pop song, and it really kind of swayed me.
Josh, there was never anything ironic about it. Okay.
Well, for me, it started off ironic, and also
Didn't you guys go to the concert?
India. Yeah, AJ, Peter.
I did go to the concert. That's where I got COVID.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
AJ.
didn't realize that.
But 3 years ago, Pete and I went to a concert before they went to Japan.
India, I will say, the real reason I started liking Carly Rae Jepsen, though, is I would come home from classes, and Pete would usually beat me home, and I would walk in, and just the entire Emotion album would be playing.
That album
4 hours.
is like one of the best pop albums ever written.
It's incredible, and slowly but surely, Pete bludgeoned me over the head with that fact, and now I like Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
What is it called? Emotion?
Yeah.
Emotion.
Yeah, you should try that one, India. It's a banger
I'm going to.
from top to bottom.
I'll believe it when I hear it.
Okay. Anyway, there's a lot of like personal lore in this episode. I feel like we're really getting into our histories here. So we come back to the shake, India. Did you have any feelings about this Jan Tovis part?
My thing is like, why? Well, currently, Jan Tovis is the girl the brother.
Jan Tovis is Twilight, the queen.
Twilight.
Yeah.
And Yadan Derrig is the Watch, the brother.
Why? What is happening with that? Why are there people rioting? I don't understand this whole shake.
So the shake were originally heading to somewhere else.
Right.
And then Yadan Derrig killed all the witches. And then Jan Tovis was like, thanks, but no thanks.
You have to leave.
You have to leave,
Yeah.
right. And then got Pulley and Squish, the only two remaining witches. And we're like, okay, we're heading back to Second Maiden Fort, which is where they were in Reaper's Gale.
The big jail.
The big jail, right, where Shirkalal was and all that stuff was happening. So the Sheikh were also there.
Yeah.
And they left that island, and now they're like, no, wait, actually, we're going back, and we're going to rule it. We're going to take it over, I guess.
No. So they went to this island because they knew they were Sheikh there,
Right.
and they felt a duty to go collect anyone faithful to them. And then they were like, okay, and once we do that, we have to open a portal and go to the Dark Lands, which I assume is like legit probably the Warren of Dark.
They bring up Emerlon, I think.
Crow and Emerlon, yeah, the Warren of Darkness. Yeah, so that's where they're trying to go. When they get to the island, if of course, the island was left with no one in charge after like months of Malazan occupation, so there's kind of a big
power vacuum.
Yeah, there's a power vacuum, there's a riot, and when we get there, we're basically in media res. They've gathered everyone they're going to gather, but now they don't have enough time to escape because a 2,000 person strong mob of ex-prisoners is going to try and kill them.
Right.
And then that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. Because of Yadan Derrig, kind of. Saving the day once again.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to open this gate to Corald Emerlane, I guess.
Corald Ghislaine.
Yeah, you're right.
Corald Ghislaine? Yeah.
Yeah, Corald Emerlane's, I think, maybe the...
That's the Tista Eater one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I think it's Emerlon anyway.
And-
but
Yeah. Did we meet the two people that are like the leaders of the island people, Pithy and Brevity? We met them back 2 books ago, yeah?
yes.
Yeah, I think we meet them in Reaper's Gale briefly, but we also met them earlier in this book.
We did? Pithy, where and when?
I believe there's a scene with them in like chapter 5 or something like that.
Sure.
I'll believe you. Sure.
Cool.
Fascinating.
I love their
But
names.
it's short. It's not.
Yeah.
It's,
Well,
it's,
I mean,
it was fucking.
it was
Christ.
yeah, it was there we go. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. So now I need a not a correction, but just like they open the portal and fire comes out, or what's on fire? They open the portal and there's something with fire. Is it just the city's on fire or something?
No, the island's on fire.
The island is on fire. Okay.
Yeah, the island's they're escaping like a pretty much on fire island that's going to kill them.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's going to drown because that's right, folks.
Climate change.
You thought he couldn't do it, but our boy brought in climate change.
That's hysterical.
If you really want to check out climate change, you should check out our Earth. It's under a climate crisis that's destroying the planet. So let's end fossil fuels.
What are you talking about? This is a fantasy novel, and that is why there is climate change.
You're right. This is total fantasy. I'm sorry. I kind of misunderstood there.
I just think people like I don't understand why people can't accept that fantasy doesn't have anything important to say, you know? Like it's just for fun for nerds.
Just swords and stuff, you know?
Pure escapism.
It is exclusively like swords and stuff. Correct?
Like I just want a big sword and an elven girl on my leg, you know? Is there any what else do I need?
Christ. Yeah. All right.
So we end on a high note with the snake. I don't have anything to say about it.
So good, AJ.
It's
I'm so sick of the snake.
it's still
What is the
sad.
point of the snake?
I have to tell you, it's hard to do bits about the snake.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Hard to make reaction content about the snake.
As Josh said, I'm funny. Yeah,
like
so
your shirt.
we're crossing into thank you. We're crossing into a new wasteland called the Glass Desert.
Yes.
Sounds fun.
Like it just how does it go from bad to so much worse so quickly for these poor kids?
They're all just gonna get like chopped up with shards of glass.
Right,
in a
yeah.
glass
Do you
storm.
think that's why it's called the Glass Desert is because the sand is glass?
They explained what it is. I forget what it is, but they explained what it is.
Well.
It's really bad.
I mean, it sounds bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah, I forget the specifics, and I'm not going to go back and read them because they're horrifically fucking depressing.
Yeah, really sad.
Not gonna lie though, I just would just be like, I'm just gonna go to sleep here.
I'm just gonna keel over. Yeah.
Yeah, like this isn't it. But where are these? Do we know? Can you just explain to me before we get off where they are refugees from and where and they don't know where they're going. They're just walking.
It is my understanding, India, that the answer to both of your questions, to your question, is that they are from somewhere so far removed from everything else that it is not even on the maps we have. And I do not know if they've referenced any place we know yet.
They're from various places. It should be said.
Yeah, but the big place, like the capital P place that they're from, the continent or whatever, is not mapped. But
Yeah.
but whatever wasteland they're walking through, India, like kids are just leaving towns or whatever that are being destroyed and then finding other kids in the desert and are like, yeah, I'll follow them, I guess.
I like you want to guess, right? You want to think it's connected to like Calance, the evil place the
Right.
Malazans are going to, but like there is yet to be any evidence of that as far as
I
I'm
think
aware.
the only connection there is that they're both kind of like the Malazans are going across a wasteland and like where the snake is kind of described wastelandish, but I feel like that's a bluff.
Yeah, that's very true.
I feel like
India, they're either incredibly far east or incredibly far southeast. They're to the east, somewhere vaguely.
Josh,
I can tell you that.
Or Josh, they're from another planet and they're about to hit this planet in the Jade
Oh my
Fingers.
god, can you imagine if they're in the green rocks? Oh my god, I would never fucking recover.
Anything can happen.
I don't really trust these kids, and I don't think you should either.
Are we going the Alex Jones?
It reminds me of an important lesson a teacher of mine taught me in high school when I said that we should be more welcoming to Syrian refugees and that over 60% of them were children. And he told me children can be terrorists too. So I think we should...
Is this a real story?
That's 100% real. And I think we should be a little more skeptical about these children refugees in the snake. Okay, so just be on guard, everyone. India left. India was the bit too bad for you.
My computer died, but my recording's still here.
Perfect.
Nice.
That's great. I didn't know if you left out of protest of my
the bit
anti-child refugee bit.
Well, they are just Well, I think that brings us to the end of this awesome 2 chapters, 7 and 8. We really appreciate you guys listening to us talk. And when I say come, you say passion.
Quietly.
Come.
Passion.
Hello, everybody. Producer AJ here, prepping for some D&D tonight. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. Also, big thank you to everyone who has filled out the live event form over the last month. Your feedback has been really helpful. That form is now closed. If you'd like to give us your thoughts or feelings about this or any of our other episodes, you can always email us 10verybigbooks@gmail.com, tweet us at 10verybigbooks, or you can head on over to our Discord, bit.ly/VBB Discord. That's capital V, capital B, capital B, capital D Discord. That link will also be in our show notes. Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to financially support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/10verybigbooks. That link will also be in the show notes. And as always, thank you so very much to Dan Gesrick for making our spectacular cover art. You can follow him on Twitter at @A_W_DanG for the hottest Dolores from Encanto takes. Thank you as well to resident cat person growing out their main Dungeons and Dragons PC haver, Scout Wilkinson, for the special art she will be providing for this season. Keep an eye out. You can follow her at twitter.com/humblegoat. And of course, the wonderful music in today's episode, including the remixed intro and outro track, is by the one, the only Amaranthan from his album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with his other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes. And 10 Very Big Books will be back in 2 weeks on November 25th, reading Dust of Dreams, chapters 9 and 10. Talk to you then, and thank you so much for listening.
So, India.
No, stop. What did Tara bring you to eat?
She didn't. Well, she brought me in the crunch wrap that I ordered, but I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to eat it tomorrow for lunch. But I did want my Baja Blast.
A little Baja Blast on the
A
pod.
little Baja Blast action.
I love it.
I love the Baja Blast.
It's good.
I don't like the Baja Blast, I'm sorry to say.
You know what, Pete? You wouldn't like the Baja Blast.
What do you not like about it, though?
Well, it's because it's good, and and that's why Pete doesn't like it.
I'm not a Mountain Dew fan, okay? I don't do the dew, okay?
I almost
not Mountain
spit
Dew, is it?
Baja Blast all over my computer.
I don't think Pete's ever liked soda that much.
Josh, that is not true. I drank like 3 cans of soda a day when we lived together.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. That was bad. It was
Soda
bad.
head.
I remember
that was
this
bad.
now.
I'm kind of a soda head.
And you would go buy 2 fried chicken drumsticks from Acme, and that would be your dinner.
All the time, baby.
2 drumsticks and
I fucking love crushing fried chicken, please.
I wouldn't call 2 drumsticks crushing fried chicken.
That would be Pete would like not eat all day, come home, crush 2 sodas, and eat 2 fried chicken they had just bought from Acme. That would be the only reason
You know
Pete
what,
would
though?
go.
Peter has always had a tiny tummy.
It's true.
What I like to call a tiny tummy.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, the most embarrassing podcast of my life. All of a sudden,
we could make it worse.
yeah. AJ probably knows worse shit.
I could bring up my silly Pete food fact, but I won't.
So thank you very much, my discreet friend
I just thought of
AJ.
somebody more. Okay.